Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hockey Talk TG. I'm Ty Glenn. You're listening to this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your local podcast stream platform. So today we are going to recap all the stuff that happened in the free agent frenzy yesterday. Yesterday was a busy day for the NHL as players were getting signed, players were getting traded if there were some happening yesterday, which they weren't. And yeah, it was just an all-around busy day in the NHL and free agency going on and stuff. So that's why I didn't do an episode yesterday, but I'm doing one today to recap it all down. Plus, the NHL is going to release the schedule for the 2024-2025 season. So that we will talk about probably either in the next episode of this Hockey Talk TG podcast, because by the time this podcast, or this episode I should say, by the time this episode comes out, they'll already be talking about the schedule and stuff. So yeah, that's why I probably won't be talking about it in this episode, because by the time it comes out, they're probably already going to be talking about it. But we will talk about it in either tomorrow's episode or Friday's episode. Anyway, we're going to get on with it. So Patrick Kane, he signs a 1-year contract deal with the Detroit Red Wings. So he is officially back in Motor City. He's back in the hockey town. Last year, well, I should say during the 2023-2024 season, he had 47 points in 50 games. So 20 goals, 27 assists for 47 points. Of course, that was his first season with the Detroit Red Wings, and he's coming back to Motor City. He played his first 16 seasons with my Chicago Blackhawks, which is one of the reasons why I became a fan, because I grew up watching Patrick Kane. Before he was traded to the New York Rangers on February 28, 2023, which that was a trade that shocked not only me, but possibly all of you that are listening to this podcast right now. Of course, to me, the Patrick Kane trade to New York Rangers at that time, like, I was so bummed that he was getting traded, and I was so upset, and I felt so emotional. It kind of felt like the Wayne Gretzky trade to the LA Kings back in 1988. So in Blackhawks history, he ranks third in goals. He has 446 goals scored when he was on the Blackhawks, and games played, which he played in 1,161 games. And he is also second in assists and points. He has 779 assists with the Blackhawks and 1,225 points with the Blackhawks, behind Stan Mikita, who had 926 assists and 1,467 points. Career-wise, Patrick Kane has 1,284 points, so 471 goals, 813 assists for 1,284 points, and 1,230 regular season games with the Blackhawks, Rangers, and Red Wings, and he is second in points in NHL history among United States-born players, behind Mike Modano, who has 1,374. And playoff-wise, he has 138 points and 143 Stanley Cup playoff games, so 53 goals, 85 assists for 138 points. And, of course, he is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Blackhawks, one in 2010, 2013, which he won the Conn Smythe Trophy that year for most valuable player in the playoffs, and in 2015. And for the awards, other awards, he has taken home the Hart Trophy in the 2015-16 season. Of course, that goes to MVP of the season. He has taken home the Art Ross Trophy that same year. That goes to the league's top point scorer. And the Ted Lindsay Award, which is given out to the most outstanding player in the NHL. And the Calder Memorial Trophy, which is the Rookie of the Year. He won that during the 2007-2008 season. Of course, the Red Wings were tied with the Capitals finishing the season. They were 41-32-9 with 91 points, but they lost the tiebreaker, so they have missed out on the playoffs. And it's the 8th consecutive year that they have not seen playoff hockey in Detroit. Nashville making a big splash yesterday. They signed Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Shea. So, of course, this is the end of Steven Stamkos playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, he spent his first, correct me if I'm wrong, He spent his first 13, 16 seasons, maybe first 13, 16 seasons with the Tampa Bay Lightning. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But I know it's somewhere between 13 and 16 seasons he played for Tampa. He had 81 points in 79 games with the Lightning during the 2023-2024 season. So 40 goals, 41 assists for 81 points in 79 games with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, he was the number 1 overall pick in the 2008 NHL draft. And he had 1,137 points in... Wow, okay. So, yeah, first 16 seasons. First 16 seasons with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, 555 goals, 582 assists for 1,137 points in the first 16 seasons with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know why I was trying to think it over. But, yeah, first 16 seasons with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, he was drafted in 2008. 16 years later, 2024. So, simple math. But anyway, he ranks first in points, goals, games, and power play goals. He has 214 power play goals. Game-winning goals, he has 85. And overtime goals, he has 13 in Tampa Bay Lightning franchise history. He won the he won the Maurice Rocky Richard Trophy for most goals in the season. He won that twice, so he scored 51 goals during the 2009-2010 season and 60 goals in the 2011-2012 season. Of course, he is a two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning, led them to the back-to-back Stanley Cups in 2020 and 2021. Now we go to Jonathan Marchessault. So he's also a Stanley Cup champion. He has won the Stanley Cup once. So he signs a 5-year deal with the Nashville Predators. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy as MVP in the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. During the 2023-2024 season, he has 69 points. So 42 goals, 27 assists for 69 points. And of course, in the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs, he had 4 points in 7 games. That was when the Golden Knights were eliminated by the Dallas Stars in the first round. So he only had 2 goals, 2 assists with 4 points at that time. This will be a reunion with Steven Stamkos, as Jonathan Marchessault has also played with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So those two will be getting back together in Smashville, and it will be really fun and exciting to watch for all Predators fans. Obviously, Lightning fans are still upset that the captain is leaving Tampa, but hey, we kind of knew that he was going to leave anyway. We kind of had a feeling he was going to leave. He was not going to re-sign with the team. So, but yeah, still heartbreaking nonetheless for Tampa Bay Lightning fans. All right, so anyway, Brady Shea. So he signs a 7-year contract deal with the Nashville Predators. He had an NHL career high, 47 points in 2023-2024 season. So 13 goals, 34 assists for 47 points. Career rise for him. He had 247 points in 609 regular season games with both the Hurricanes and the Rangers. So 68 goals, 179 assists for 247 points in 609 regular season games. Playoff-wise, he has 25 points in 76 playoff games. So 7 goals, 18 assists for 25 points in 76 playoff games for Brady Shea. So the Predators... they went all out in free agency, so that was actually good signings by the Nashville Predators. I mean, when I saw the news that Steven Stamkos was going to the Nashville Predators, I was shocked. I was really shocked. Like, I did not see that coming, but hey, you got to expect the unexpected. So, I mean, yeah. Another team that cooked in free agency yesterday was my Chicago Blackhawks. We got Tyler Bertuzzi. We got Teuvo Teravainen back on the team. And we got the big rig, Pat Maroon. They each signed a contract deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, Tyler Bertuzzi, he had 43 points in 80 games with the Leafs during the 2023-2024 season. So 21 goals, 22 assists for 43 points in 80 games. And he had 1 goal, 3 assists in 7 Stanley Cup playoffs games. So that was when the Leafs were eliminated by their rivals, the Boston Bruins, in the first round of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. Career-wise, Tyler Bertuzzi, He has 261 points in 406 regular season games, so 113 goals, 148 assists for 406 regular season games for the Red Wings, Bruins, and Toronto Maple Leafs. All three are Atlantic Division teams, by the way. And he has 14 points in 14 Stanley Cup playoff games, so 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. Teuvo Teravainen, he's been on the Blackhawks before. He is coming back. He won the Stanley Cup with us in 2015, so I'm really excited to see him come back to Chi-Town as a Blackhawks fan. He had 53 points in 76 regular season games for the Hurricanes during the 2023-2024 NHL season. So 25 goals, 28 assists for 53 points. He had 6 points in 11 playoff games, so 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. That was when the Hurricanes were eliminated by the Rangers in the second round once again. So in his 3 seasons with the Blackhawks, Teuvo Teravainen, he had 44 points in 115 games, so 17 goals, 27 assists for 44 points in 115 games for the Blackhawks in his 3 seasons before he left to go to the Carolina Hurricanes. But he's back with us in the Chi-Town. Wish he would have been a part of that 2013 Stanley Cup Championship run with us, but he wasn't. He did play with the Blackhawks from 2013 to 2016. He was with us during that 2015 Stanley Cup run, and he's with us once again. So, yeah. But moving on, Pat Maroon, he comes to the Chicago Blackhawks, so he signs a 1-year deal. He has 16 points in 49 games played during the 2023-2024 season. Of course, all those were with the Minnesota Wild before he went to the Boston Bruins. He is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, so he won the Stanley Cup with the Blues in 2019, and of course the back-to-back Stanley Cups with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2020 and 2021. Another player that the Blackhawks got in free agency was Craig Smith, so he signs a 1-year deal with the Blackhawks. So, and he notched 20 points in 75 regular season games with the Dallas Stars. So 11 goals, 9 assists for 20 points in 75 games. He had 2 assists in 14 games during the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. He did set new postseason career highs in games played, which was 14, and hits, which was 25. Career-wise, he has 434 points in 928 regular season games, so 211 goals, 223 assists in 928 regular season games with the Predators, Bruins, Capitals, and Stars. So, playoff-wise, he has 23 points in 83 playoff games, so 9 goals, 14 assists for 23 points. So, Kyle Davidson decided to go all out. He also brought in Alex Martinez, who has signed a 1-year deal with the Blackhawks. Of course, I still have not forgot about 2014, what he did in 2014 against us. He scored the game-winning goal in the 2014 Western Conference Finals against my Chicago Blackhawks. I have not forgot about that, but we'll see if he gets the booze coming into the United Center. The Blackhawks also signed TJ Brody in free agency, so he's signed to a 2-year deal. They also signed goalie Laurent Brossoit, signed him for 2 years. And all this free agent signing is to, my guessing is help out Connor Bedard, because we need somebody to mentor Connor Bedard, and we got some Stanley Cup caliber on our team now. We got Teuvo Teravainen, who's won a cup with us in 2014. We got Alex Martinez, who is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 2 with the Kings. He won 1 with the Golden Knights. And what else? We got Pat Maroon, a big red Pat Maroon. He's not afraid to mix it up. We've seen him in fights before. Seen him lay big hits. So I'm glad Kyle Davidson got him. Of course, he is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion as well. Won in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So, yeah, I really liked the moves that Kyle Davidson made in free agency. And as a Blackhawks fan, I'm not really happy with some moves that he makes, because some moves that he makes are just like pointless. Like, why would you make this move? Why would you not make this move? So, yeah, sometimes I don't be liking his decisions, but this time he really went all out in free agency, just like the Nashville Predators did. So I'm really happy with the moves that Kyle Davidson has made as a Blackhawks fan. Now let's move on to the Florida Panthers. So Sam Reinhart, He signs the 8-year deal contract with the Florida Panthers. Of course, he scored a career-high 57 goals with them during the 2023-2024 season. He was second in the NHL with those goals. Of course, Austin Matthews had the most goals that year. He had 69 goals. Almost had 70, but was unable to reach it. Of course, he scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the 2024 Stanley Cup Final this year. And career-wise, Sam Reinhart has 538 points in 696 regular season games, so 255 goals, 283 assists for 696 in 696 regular season games with both the Buffalo Sabres and Florida Panthers. Panthers also signed defenseman Dmitry Kulikov to a 4-year contract deal. He had 20 points in 76 regular season games during the 2023-2024 season. So 1 goal, 19 assists for 20 points in 76 regular season games. Career-wise, Dmitry Kulikov has 234 points in 948 regular season games, so 46 goals, 188 assists in 948 regular season games for the Panthers, Penguins, Ducks, Wild, Oilers, Devils, Jets, and Sabres, and he has 10 points in 53 Stanley Cup playoff games played. All right, so some Florida Panthers moving on. So former Florida Panther Brandon Montour signing to the Seattle Kraken in free agency. Of course, he won the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers before he was moved over to Seattle with the Seattle Kraken. And Chandler Stevenson, they also picked up in free agency, so he won the Stanley Cup twice with the Washington Capitals in 2018 and the Golden Knights in 2023. Pretty ironic, if I would say. So Montour had 33 points in 66 regular season games during the 2023-2024 season. So 8 goals, 25 assists for 33 points in 66 regular season games. And he had 11 points in 24 Stanley Cup playoff games this year. So 3 goals, 8 assists for 11 points in 24 Stanley Cup playoff games. He set new career highs in goals with 16, assists with 57, and points with 73 in 80 games with the Florida Panthers during the 2022-2023 NHL season. Career-wise, Brandon Montour has 252 points in 520 regular season games for the Panthers, Sabres, and Ducks. So 66 goals, 186 assists for 252 points in 520 regular season games. He has 11 goals. He has 35 points in 20. He has 35 points in 82 Stanley Cup playoff games. So 11 goals, 24 assists for 35 points in 82 Stanley Cup playoff games. Now let's get on to Chandler Stevenson. So, of course, Chandler Stevenson had 51 points in 75 regular season games during the 2023-2024 season. So, 16 goals, 35 assists for 51 points in 75 regular season games. He had 1 assist in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. But career-wise, he has 270 points in 495 regular season games. So, 89 goals, 181 assists for 270 points in 495 regular season games. And he has 39 points in 95 playoff games. That was both of these were with the Washington Capitals and Vegas Golden Knights. Like I said, pretty ironic that he played for both of those teams, considering that the Capitals and Golden Knights faced each other in the 2018 Stanley Cup Final, with the Capitals 1-5 winning their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. So, yeah. All right, so moving on to the Islanders. So, Anthony Duclair, he signs a 4-year contract deal with the New York Islanders. He had 42 points in 73 regular season games played with the Tampa Bay Lightning and San Jose Sharks. Of course, 15 of those were with the Lightning. Of course, he was acquired in the trade at the trade deadline, where he had 8 goals, 7 assists for 15 points in 17 games played with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And he had 27 points So 16 goals, 11 assists with 27 points with the San Jose Sharks before he was traded to Tampa. Career-wise, he has 303 points, so 146 goals, 157 assists in 563 regular season games with the Tampa Bay Lightning, San Jose Sharks, Florida Panthers, Ottawa Senators, Columbus Blue Jackets, Chicago Blackhawks, Arizona Coyotes, and New York Rangers. And he has 16 points in 39 playoff games, so 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points in 39 playoff games. So he's basically trying to play for every NHL team before he retires, as to what some people were saying down in the NHL's comments when that post was made yesterday. So, I mean, yeah. But imagine if he would have stayed on the Florida Panthers during the 2023-2024 season. He would have won the Stanley Cup. He would have been part of that Stanley Cup team. He was on the Florida Panthers last year in the 2023 Stanley Cup final where they lost in 5. Imagine if he would have still stayed with the Florida Panthers and he would have won his first Stanley Cup. But he didn't. All right, moving on to more free agency signings. So Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov, they each signed a contract deal with the Boston Bruins. So Elias Lindholm, he had 44 points in 75 regular season games played for the Canucks and Flames during the 2023-2024 season. So I should mention both Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov played with each other on the Canucks and Flames because they were both traded to the Canucks during the 2023-2024 season. So I should bring that up. But now they're each coming to the Boston Bruins. So that's going to be cool to see. So they're still, sticking together. And, yeah, you get to see them play each other once again on the Boston Bruins. So can't wait. And speaking of the Boston Bruins, Jake DeBrusk, he leaves Boston to go to Vancouver. So he signs a 7-year contract deal with the Vancouver Canucks. He had 40 points in 80 games played with the Boston Bruins during the 2023-2024 season. So 19 goals, 21 assists for 40 points in 80 games during the 2023-2024 season. And he had 11 points in 13 Stanley Cup playoff games. So 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points in 13 Stanley Cup playoff games before the Bruins were eliminated by the eventual Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And he was drafted the 14th pick in the first round of the 2015 NHL draft. He had 266 points in 465 regular season games with the Boston Bruins. So 138 goals, 128 assists in 465 regular season games. And he also had 47 points in 86 playoff games, so 27 goals, 20 assists in 86 playoff games. And the Canucks, they weren't done yet. They picked up Danton Heinen and they picked up Kiefer Sherwood in free agency yesterday. So each of them signing to a 2-year contract deal. So the Canucks, they're picking up some former Bruins players. I think Danton Heinen also used to play for the Boston Bruins. I know Kiefer Sherwood was in Nashville. He played for the Nashville Predators. So it feels like Bruins to Canucks players trading or going to different teams. So, yeah. All right, so with Steven Stamkos out of Tampa, the Lightning pick up Jake Guentzel, so he signs a 7-year contract deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, he was traded to Tampa, I think for a draft pick. I think it was like a draft pick that the Hurricanes got from the Lightning when they traded Jake Guentzel over to Tampa. Of course, he won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2017. He had 77 points in 67 regular season games played with both the Carolina Hurricanes and Pittsburgh Penguins during the 2023-2024 season. So 30 goals, 47 assists with 77 points in 67 regular season games. 25 of those points were with the Hurricanes after he was acquired at the trade deadline. So Penguins traded Jake Guentzel over to Carolina, where he had 25 points in 17 games. And he was a big time. He wasted no time lighting the lamp and backing up points after being traded to Carolina. In the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs, he had 9 points in 11 playoff games for the Hurricanes. So 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points in 11 Stanley Cup playoff games this year for the Hurricanes. And Career-wise, Jay Gensel has 491 points in 520 regular season games, so 227 goals, 264 assists for 491 points in 520 regular season games with the Carolina Hurricanes and Pittsburgh Penguins, and 67 points in 69 playoff games, so 38 goals, 29 assists for 67 points in 69 playoff games. And the Oilers, they signed Corey Perry back to a one-year contract deal. Of course, he had 22 points in 54 regular season games for the Oilers and the Blackhawks during the 2023-2024 season. So 12 goals, 10 assists for 22 points in 54 regular season games. 13 of those points came with the Oilers after signing a contract with them on January 22nd, after his contract with the Blackhawks was terminated on November 28th. So he had 8 goals, 5 assists for 13 points with the Edmonton Oilers. And, of course, he is the first player to play with 5 different teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. One of those, not Stanley Cup playoffs. He is the first player to play with, He's the first player to play with 5 different teams in the Stanley Cup final. Of course, 4 of those he lost, most recently being this year with the Edmonton Oilers. He just only won 1 Stanley Cup. That was with the Anaheim Ducks back in 2007. This year he had 3 points in 19 Stanley Cup playoff games, so 1 goal, 3 assists for 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points in 19 Stanley Cup playoff games. And of course, he was drafted 28 overall in the first round of the 2003 NHL draft. Career-wise, he had 905 points in 1,311 games played for the Oilers, Blackhawks, Lightning, Canadian Stars, and Ducks. So 429 goals, 476 assists for 905 points in 1,311 games. And of course, like I mentioned already, he won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks back in 2007, and he took home the Hart Memorial Trophy in 2011 as MVP after he put up 98 points in 82 regular season games. So 50 goal season, 48 assists for 98 points in 82 games that year. Corey Perry also has 127 points in 215 playoff games career-wise, so 54 goals, 73 assists for 127 points in 215 playoff games. Oilers also signed Victor Arvidsson, Connor Brown, and Josh Brown as well. Arvidsson, he had 15 points in 18 regular season games with the LA Kings, so 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points, and he had 3 assists in 5 playoff games with the Kings before they were eliminated from the first round by the Edmonton Oilers. Connor Brown had 12 points in 71 regular season games, so he was on the Oilers. He signs back with the Oilers, so 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points in 71 regular season games, playoff-wise. 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points in 19 playoff games with the Oilers. And Josh Brown, no relation to Connor Brown. He has 10 points and averaged 14 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time in 51 games with the Coyotes during the 2023-2024 season. So 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points in 51 games. And the Canadians, they signed Yuri Slafkovsky to an 8-year contract deal. Of course, he was drafted first overall in the 2022 NHL draft. He had 50 points in 82 games played with the Habs. So 20 goals, 30 assists for 50 points in 82 games. He led Montreal with 71 block shots during the 2023-2024 season. He was third with 152 hits. And he became the first Canadian. He became the first player in Canadians history, to have 40 points in the season before the age of 20, where he got an assist against the Colorado Avalanche on March 26, 2024. 2 days later, he notched his first career NHL hat trick against the Philadelphia Flyers. Career-wise, Slafkovsky has 60 points in 121 NHL games played, so 24 goals, 36 assists for 121 points. For 60 points in 121 games played. And of course, the Canadians finished last in the Atlantic Division with a record of 30, 36, and 16. All right, so Flyers fans, the wait is over as Matei Michikov signs a 3-year entry-level contract deal with the Philadelphia Flyers yesterday. He was drafted 7 overall in the first round in the 2023 NHL Draft. He's going to be with the Flyers this season after his contract with SKA St. Petersburg in the KHL was terminated, in which he played 3 seasons in the KHL. But he is going to be on the Philadelphia Flyers this upcoming season. And Sean Monahan, he signs a 5-year contract deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets, so he will be reunited with linemate Johnny Gaudreau. Of course, both of them played with the Calgary Flames, and now he is coming over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had 59 points in 83 regular season games played for the Jets and Canadians during the 2023-2024 season. 24 of those came with the Winnipeg Jets after being acquired in the trade with the Canadians on February 2nd. So 13 goals, 11 assists for 24 points with the Winnipeg Jets. And career-wise, Monahan has 538 points in 764 regular season games played for the Jets, Canadians, and Flames, and 22 points in 35 playoff games. All 3 of those are Canadian teams, by the way. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this podcast. So there was lots of free agent signings yesterday. I will talk to you about some of those tomorrow. So, maybe tomorrow or Friday. If not tomorrow, then Friday. So, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to put a pin in it right here. Of course, there were a bunch of free agent signings yesterday. I tried to, tried to cover them all in here. So it was a busy day in the NHL yesterday, but we talked about the majority of the stuff that happened in free agency yesterday. Of course, we will talk about some more in either tomorrow's episode or Friday's episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast. So make sure you are following this podcast and just subscribe to the YouTube podcast channel. This is the number 1 podcast for all things hockey, and I'm trying to build up my podcast. So if you guys would just follow and subscribe to it, that will make me really happy. But nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in as always. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God first as always. Be blessed. Still the NHL all season. I can't wait for the regular season to start back once again. And yeah, I'll see you guys Wednesday or Friday to talk about more about the free agent signings and talk about the NHL regular season schedule, because by the time this episode comes out, they're already going to be talking about it. Anyways, peace.